Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we have been started with the Java full course. So we have completed almost all the concepts in Java for the basics part. So in this video, let's wrap up the complete Java basics. So in my previous video, we have seen like what is methods, int static, and the particular keywords. And in this video, let's move on to the next topic. So I have opened the notes. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel. So I have been seeing a lot of views, but there is no subscribers. So I request you to subscribe the channel as well and share it with your friends. And you can just download the notes I have been provided in the description below. So let's be completed with the static keyword. So let's move on to the method overloading concept. Okay, so let's create the Java file, that is java 11.java file. So based on the particular bracket, whatever I have mentioned it over here. Okay, we can just see this thing. So we can just take the particular program of the particular name over there. Okay, so let's create a new file. I'm just going to create a new Java class over here. So I'm just going to make the Java 11 file. So I'm just going to initialize the public static void main and just on it like this. Okay. So I got the stuffs like that. So let's see what is method overloading. So basically, if you are having the particular methods in the Java with the same name, suppose you want to add two numbers. So you have given the method name as add sum. So it might take int a and int b as an argument. So with the same name, you have another method like add sum. So where it is going to take int a, int b, and int c. So in the first method, the two arguments has been taken. In the second method, that it has been taken as a three argument, but the function name is same. So at that time, we call that particular method as overloading it over there. Okay, so whichever the arguments you are passing it, that particular method is going to call. So that we are going to see with the live example. So here what I have said here is, in Java, it is possible for a class to contain two or more methods with the same name, as I said, with the different parameters. Okay, so in Java, method overloading can be performed in the two listed below. So I can just say by changing the return type of the different method. So we can we can just do overloading method in Java by changing the return types of the different method and by changing the return type over here. So let's see with this example, and even you can see by changing the number of argument it is passed. So coming back to the example over here, so I'm not want you to make the I don't want to make this entire video very too long. So let's focus on the learning part over there. Okay, so for that I'm just going to do some of the copy pasting overlay. So let's see how I am going to. So let's coming back to my Java 11. So let's create one particular public class like that. Okay, so we have a particular public class over here. So let's create the methods over here. So we saw in the previous video like how to create the methods like this. So we'll create the data type of it and the function name, and we are going to pass the argument, and if int is there, it is going to return. If the void, there will be a no return statement. This we know. So let's coming back to this. So let's create one same method. So I'm going to say the method as int sum over here. So I have created a int sum, so which is going to take int a as an argument and int b as an argument, and it is going to add the two numbers, and it is going to return it into the concept of the C. So this is one method I have created. So let's create the same method to achieve method overloading in Java. So I'm going to create a same method by giving int sum. So you can see it is going to take int a and int b as an argument, but here it is going to take int a, int b, and int c. It's going to take three arguments, right? So but this method is going to take only two arguments. And the thing is been it is method overloaded over here by using this what I can just say. So it is the third thing is applied by changing the number of argument it is passed. Okay, so I have created a two methods over here, so which is having a sum and which is having here sum as well. So let's create one particular Java method over here. So let's create one object for it. So let's create the object for it. So what is the class name is, so let me write the class name as what is the class name, Java 11, right? For this particular public class, I'm going to create one object. So I'm going to create one object is equal to, now I'm going to say new keyword, then I'm going to say as a of Java 11 is a particular public class name over here. So let me open the braces like this. Okay, so it is going to create the object for us. So after creating an object, so let's see how can I call the objects now. So I'm going to say whatever the object object I have created, I'm going to use dot operator over here. So you can see when I use dot operator, I can see the two methods as a sum int a and a sum int a comma b comma c. If I call like this, so I'm just passing 10 comma, so let's pass 10 comma some 20 as a number. So I'm going to close like this. So once I say I want to store the particular data into one result, I'm just going to say int result is equal to object of sum of 10 comma 20. So now if I just tell sy4, so if I just try to print the result, so what will be the result now? So result may be like, it is a sum, right, object. So you can see it goes to this sum. So because I am passing two arguments, so it's automatically it is going to take this method and it is going to return me c, and that is going to store it into a variable result. Then I can able to print the result over here. If I run the program, over here, so let's save the file first. So let me save all. Now if I try to run the program, so I'm getting some context map is encoded something existing. Okay, so let's run this Java application. Okay, run as Java application. So you can see I'm getting the output as a 30 over here. Why? Because this is going to call the particular method that is sum, and it is going to return it. So same, if it is there like something int, I'm just going to create one more new variable. So I'm going to say it is as a result 1. So I'm going to pass 10 comma 20 comma and 30. So when I pass 10 comma 20 comma 30 for the same method, automatically it is going to override this particular method and it is going to return me the output. So if I just save the same program, if I just copy it down and if I just tell result 1, if I just save it, if I run the program now, so you can see I'm getting the output as a 60 over here. So 20 plus 10 30, 30 plus 30 is 60 for this and 30 for this result. So this is the one thing, that is method is getting overloaded based on the number of arguments. So let's see with the other example. So let's see adding a few more methods into our public class. So let me add few more methods over here. So let me add the first method. I'm going to add it as mul. Okay, so again I'm going to add it as a one more same method as a mul, but it is a void data type. Okay, return type is null over here, and I'm passing here as a 2 argument. Here I'm going to pass it as a 3 argument, so which is going to multiply two numbers and going to save me the output for it. So then let's add one more thing, still for 2 more methods. So I wanted to add it over here. So let's add the one method is call it as a division, then another is a double div. So it is going to take int div, so it is also taking, it is going to divide the two numbers, but here I'm going to put the different data types over here. So whenever it is going to return me, it is going to return me the int data type value. So whenever I return this particular double division, whenever I overload this method, it is going to take the double and it is going to return me the double data type value. In the sense, when I'm passing the arguments with the double whatever the arguments which is going to take for the double, so like I can just say like I think it is going to pass for the floating points value, so which is having a very large number, automatically it is going to take this as a method. If I'm just passing numerator like numbers like normal 2 comma div 2 comma 3, so then it is going to take the normal division. If I'm passing a very large number with the pointing time, it is going to take this particular argument. So let's see with that on creating one new object. So let me create, so already we have created the object, right? So let's call the object now. Let's call these two things over here. So let me pass the large value for my double. So that is a double A and a double B, right? So let's try to create one double F is equal to, so I'm going to, from the same object, I'm going to call the division tag. So sorry, the particular division method, which is having a very large number. You can see 15.252 and 2.5. Okay, so let me create one normal int value. So I'm going to say int j is equal to, so I'm going to say whatever the object is there, I want to call the division tag. So let me pass 10 comma, let me pass 10 comma 5. Okay, as the input. So let me print so let me print j, then let me print the same stuff for I want to just print it for f as well. Okay, so let me print for f. So once I save this one, so now for another program, you can see whenever the object is created for the double, it is going to call this particular method and it is going to return me a divided by 5. This is the one thing it is getting run. If I want the more clarity, I can just add one syso. I'm just going to tell inside this syso, I'm going to just say something like this. I'll just tell I am a div of double return type. Okay, so I'm going to say something like I am a div of double return type. Okay, I'm just saying like this. So I want to just pass it with the double quotes over here. Let me pass like this. Okay, so it is going to return me like this whenever this method is getting run. So now if I run the program, you can see it is going to go with this method whenever I call this object dot div when I'm passing these two stuffs. So this is going to go with this I am of double division of return type. It is going with this particular I am a double division of return type, and it is going to divide a divided by b, and it is going to return me the result at the f at the 6. You can see it is going to return me 6090168, and the data type of will be the double itself. Okay, so this is what it has been said inside. So changing the number of argument we saw for the sum, and changing the return type. Basically we are changing the return type of the, this is a two method overloaded because they have a same name but the return is different. So return is different means, so here you can see the return data type is here it is what void, sorry, here it is integer, and here it is double. So the return types of things are different, so based on that the method is getting overloaded. Okay, so this is one thing. So let's we see with two more example. Like let's see with the static methods now, static methods inside our program. So let me create like this. So we are having a static void greet. Okay, I'm having a static void greet method. It is going to take the name argument and what else, and it is going to say good morning, the particular name, and static void greet. Again, it is having two arguments which is going to take, and it is going to tell hello and greetings. So let's create. So basically, you know, static method, without creating an object we can run the program by just calling or the particular Java 11. So yeah, Java 11, right? Java 11 dot, if I just call the greet method, so you can see I need to just pass here name. I'll just pass the name here Anis over here. So once I run the program, you can see I'm going to tell good morning Anis. Okay, basically it is going to call this method and taking the name, and it is going to say good morning Anis. So when I pass the two arguments, so what it is going to tell hello Anis and greeting it is going to pass. So let's pass again with this. I'm going to call with the public class, it is my public class dot, I'm just going to call the greet methods. So I'm going to say something like I want to just pass two argument, right? So first argument I need to pass name, then is greetings. I'm just going to pass something like yeah, okay, then I'm just going to say good afternoon. Okay, just save it and run the program. You can able to see I'm getting good morning and is hello ARK, good afternoon. Okay, so like this we can able to create the static method. So even this will be the type static, and a number of things we can declare it, but the matter is what is the number of argument you are passing, and which is the method name you are calling, and what is the return type of it. Okay, so it is what based on that the method is getting overloaded and overridden. So now let's create one more static method over here. So what is method here is, this method is going to change the number of arrays. So let's see how it works. So let me show you first. So let's create one static method over here. Okay, so I have created a static method, so which is the return type is void, and it is going to change the, and the function name is change array. The method name is going to take the input as an array. It is going to take the array. So after taking the array, so whatever the 0th index will be there, it is going to change it to 100, and whatever the array index of third index position will be, it is going to change it as 300 over here. Okay, so this is the one method I have created. So now let's create one thing which is going to sum the entire array, and it is going to return me the output. So the thing was something like this. So let me create this method by typing. So I'm going to create a static int. So I'm going to say this is the sum array. So which is going to take what? It is going to take the list of the array, entire list array of the list it is going to take. So I can just pass this spread operator, and I can just say something like a or something like this. Okay, so which is going to take all the array into this. It's like shortcuts in Java. So with this method, let's create the logics to it. Let's create a logic to it. I'm going to say something. First I'm going to store everything into the result is equal to 0. So whatever the result is that I want to do it. Basically here I'm going to pass the what, a array list. So in that I want everything to get added up and it should return me the output. So basically I'm going to apply the for each loop. So for each loops, so first I need to pass which is the return type of this. It is an integer, and I'm just going to pass the array over here. I'm just going to pass ERR. So whatever the array I'm getting it, I'm just going to pass it here. So then I'm going to say that result or ESULT result is equal to whatever the result will be there. I want to add the result value plus whatever the array each element which is getting iterated in the A. So I want to add like this. I'm just going to say like this. Okay, so let me put everything into braces so it should not mismatch. So now after finishing of the for each loop, I want to return the output. So what will be the return value? So the return value will be the return result. So basically whatever the result will be there after taking every element from the array, it is going to return me the result that is into this return value, that is result. So it is going to add every element from the array list and it is going to return me the result. Okay, so the one function, and change function is basically whenever I call, so it is going to change the elements of the 0th index position and the 3rd index position. That is the one thing it has been written. So now let's try with doing this one. So let's create one array list. So let's create one array list over here. So let me create one array list. So if I just tell int, so if I just tell int here, so let me create int of let's create an empty int which is going to have some my lucky numbers. Okay, so I'm going to give the array list name as a my lucky numbers. So in this I'm just going to pass a few numbers over here. Okay, so let's pass few numbers here. So let's pass 10, 20, 30, 40. So I'm going to pass and 50. I'm going to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements into this my lucky number. Then I need to call the method. I want to call this method that is sum of the array. So let's say whatever the result will be there, I'm going to store everything. So I can just say something like here if I just say sy so, okay, if I tell whatever the my lucky numbers are there. So if I want to access the 4th element, so that is basically I'm going to change here what in the change array 0th and 3rd, right? Let's access the 0th element and let's access the 3rd element from the array. So let's see what will be the output. So for the 0 it should print 100 and for the 3rd it should print 40, right? So if I run the output, you can see it is returning 10 and 40 basically now. So now whenever I run this method, whenever I run this change array method, it is going to change the array list. Then it is going to change the 0th position to 100 and array to the 0 array of 3 is going to change it with the 300, right? So that is what we want to apply now. So now let's call that one. So let's say something. So let's create one file that is going to call. So let's create one more class over here. Okay. So let's create one particular class. I'm going to create a new class over here. So I'm going to create the new class. So I can just say that name as arguments, n arguments. So I'm going to create the particular name as n arguments over there. So after creating an argument, so I'm going to the class name I given as an argument over here. Fine. So now I'm going to say the same things. So whatever the sum array is there, whatever the static int sum array is there. So I wanted to make it into that particular class. Let me copy this and let me put it into this class. Okay, so this will be my new class which is having an int sum array. It is going to do this one. So let's create one argument, one object for this class. Let's create one object for this n argument class. So I wanted to create an object, then I wanted to call. So I'm just going to create n arguments. N is equal to new arguments. So basically I'm just going to create one class for this particular. I'm just going to create one object for that particular class. So after passing a class, so let's say I want to get the result, right? I want to get the result into an integer format because this class is going to return me the int result, right? It is going to return me the int value result. So because of that, I want to just pass it. Let's say whatever the int r is equal to the result is there, I want to call n dot, so n is our object, n dot sum array. So I want to call the sum array. I am going to pass the lucky numbers over here. So my lucky numbers are nothing but the numbers which is stored into this array list. So I am just going to pass this number. So let me say so let's print the r. So now what it happens here is you're going to call the sum array method, which is going to pass the numbers over here, the whatever the array list, and that is going to pass here as an integer. The data is getting fetched with the for loop, from the array list and is going to return the result of the entire array. So it is what the output will be thrown here. So if I run the program, you can say I'm getting as a 150. So basically you can say 10 plus 40 plus 10 is 50, 50 plus 50 is 100, and 20 plus 30 is 50, 150. So I'm getting an exact output for this result. So like this, we can create an object for the from another class, and we can just call this some array method over like that. Okay. So now let's create one change method over here. So let's create that particular change method as well. So let's create one more method. So if I just pass like this, so if I want to just pass something like this, so I want to print the data, so I'm going to say n dot sum array. I'm just going to directly passing all the values to it. So I'm just passing 15, 12, 13, 15, 20, 25 like that something. If I pass, even though I'm getting even though I can able to where is that, it is getting printed or not. If I just say n dot sum array, so it is not getting printed. So when I just save the program, okay, I have not saved, so let me save the program. If I run, you can say I'm getting this output as well. Okay, I can get the data, I can pass in this format as well. Okay, so now let's call this change array method. So what is this change array method? Let me call something change array, which is going to take an array, and I want to just apply the for loop, and I want to print it. Okay, so let's pass this same for each loop for here. So whatever the for each loop is there, I want to just pass it. So this method, I want to just to pass the for each loop for the array. Then I want to print the result here. I want to just tell SYSO as it is not written in not time. So I want to just print. So let me print like this. Okay, let me print like this. Control X. So I wanted to just print the whatever the result is there. I want to just print it. So here let's just try to print the values here. Okay, so I'm just going to tell for a of array. I want to just to print the value of the array from it, and basically yeah, that's it. I want to just pass the array, and it is going to print me the output. So let's call this is the thing which is going to method name is change array. So let's say whatever the lucky numbers are there, I want to just pass it to it. Let me call something, what is the change array, right? So let me say the change array. So change array is going to call the, it is going to take the argument for the lucky numbers, right? So whatever the lucky numbers are there, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So whenever I call the method, as it is a static method, no need of creating a Java object for that, directly I can call it. So once I save this method and run the program, so you can see I'm getting 100, 20, 30 and 350. Basically there were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Whenever I call this method, that is the change array, so it is going to pass the array here, and it is going to change the value. So basically I'm changing with the indexing position, which is going to change it to 0th position to 100. That's basically a 10 value, it is going to change it for 100, and whatever the array of 3, the basically 40 is going to change it with 300 over here. So the same thing I'm just going to print it with the for each loop. So like this I can create the methods and objects, and we can overload the particular methods by creating such kind of like examples I have shown you, like how the things is going to work into your program. So I could have typed everything, but it's going to take a long time, so I just use this method. So you can, I hope you guys have understood this concept of method overloading in Java. So next we'll move on to the concept of the Java recursion. So last concept in Java basics. Okay, so what is this Java recursion means? In a programming, recursion is a technique through which a function calls itself. So basically I want to call the same function for a number of times. So whenever the whenever the boolean value is true, so the function is going to call itself, and it is going to perform some calculations. So then at last, when the condition is becomes false, I want to stop the function, then I want to return the output. So at that time I am just going to use the concept of Java recursion. So with help of the recursion, we can break down the complex problem into very simple problems. So let's see with this example with the program number java12.file. So let's create one new file. Let me create one new class. So I'm just going to name it as java12, and I'm just going to initialize the public static void main to it. Okay, so now let's see what is this file I can just work on. So let me come back to this file now. So let me create the class over here. So I have created the class public class java12. So let's create a few class over here. So let me create one static class. So what is this class is going to do? Static class. So it is going to return me the int. the output. So I'm going to tell you with the example of the particular factorial of the two numbers. So what is meant by factorial? So factorial of 2. So if I just tell here what is the factorial of 3, if I tell what is the factorial of 3, the output will be 3 into 2 into 1. So that is nothing but 6. So I want the output should be written as a 6 over here. So what is the logic behind here is, and if I say if anyone gives the input as 1 factorial, okay, so whenever the 1 factorial if I want to find, so the output should written as 0, okay, so output should be 0. So whenever I say what is the factorial of 0, and the output should be written as what is the 0 factorial output? So sorry, it is not 0, 1 factorial is 1 and 0 factorial is also 1, okay. So I am going to apply one condition. Whenever when a value becomes 1, so you have to return the output 1. Whenever your n value of the n will 0, it should be, the output should be, it should return as 1. And if there is something, if someone is finding for 3 factorial or 5 factorial like that, so whenever the 5 factorial is been there, so it should be written as 4. So it will be like 4 star 3 factorial. Okay, so again it will be like 3 factorial, right? And again it will be like something like 4 is already present. So what is the factorial of 3? I'm going to say 3 star 2 factorial. Okay, it is fine. So next again the output will be something like, so again there is a 4, again there is a 3, so again there is a 2 factorial, right? So what is the factorial of 2? It will be like 2 star 1 factorial. So again it will be like 4 star 3 star 2 star, what is the value of 1 factorial? So I have declared here 1 factorial will be 1, so then it will be like this. So it will be 2, right? So 4 3 2 1, so then finish, then it is going to return me the output 4 3 is 12, 12 2 is 24. So output will be the 24 for this whenever I call the 5 factorial. Okay, so it will be like sorry, it will not 24, it is for the 4 factorial, sorry. Okay, so 5 means I need to add it 5 also. I'm just showing for you 4 factorial. Fine. So what it is happening, you can see whenever I given the n value as 4, the function is going to call itself. So first function is going to call itself. So 4 factorial is one function, 4 is written. So again 3 factorial will be take 3 as an input. Again it is going to call the same function. So here again it is going to call the same function. Here it is going to call the same function. So the same function is getting called for 3 times whenever I give the 4 factorial over there. So then the output is getting returned over here. So this is just for your understanding I had given. So let me comment out this. So let's later write the perfect logic to it. Okay, so let's save the program. So coming back here, so let's create one program, that is factorial. So let's create the function name as factorial, as I said, which is going to take the value of some input. It is going to take an input, so that it might be any number. So let's create the let's create the logic to it. So I'm going to apply one condition. If, same thing I said, if n value becomes 0 or 1, I want to return it as a 1. I'm going to say if n value is equals to 1 or n value is equals to 0, I want to return an output as 1. I want to return the output to 1. So if n is equals to 0, or so I need to use this operator. So when n is becomes 1 or n is equal to 0, it should return as a 1 over here. Okay, so else what I need to do, so if condition is finished, on else I'm going to put else part. So else I want to just say return whatever the value of n. So as I said, 4 star, 4 is nothing but a n value. I'm going to say n star, and I said it is a 3, so 3 factorial. I'm going to say whatever the factorial is there, I'm going to call the same function with what, n minus 1. N minus 1 in the sense, if I just pass input as in 4, it will be like 4 minus 1, that is 3 factorial. So 3 is going to pass again for this same factorial. 3 is not equals to 1 or 0, so again it is going to tell 4 star 3 into 2 factorial. So 2 factorial means it is be like 2 of n minus 1, that will be, sorry, 2 of 3 factorial of 3 minus 1 for the second iteration. 3 minus 1 will be 2. So again factorial of 2 is going to find, again it will be like factorial of 2 minus 1 1. When factorial of n, when n value becomes 1, it is going to return 1. Then the final output will be written like this, okay, which is going to return you the factorial of the number. So like this the things goes. So let's create the output now. So let's create something into my public static void main to just pass the inputs. I'm going to say something as it is. So I've said you like factorial, so it will be RILL, factorial of 2 number. Let me change the names, spellings. So As I said, whenever the factorial of n is well, it is the what is the formula? So whenever the n is greater than or equals to 1, the factorial of n is equal to the formula is n into factorial of n minus 1. So same thing I have applied. So as I have given the same function name, you have to give it as the same function name here. If I am just giving the function name as fact, you have to make the function name as fact itself. Okay, this is not going to create any issues over here. So what I'm going to here is, so I'm just saying you, we can just use that same name as it is. So let's use fact itself, no issues. So the formula of a factorial is n into factorial of n minus 1, right? So now as I said, let me try to the input for this is, so if I just right click and inspect run as Java application, so now see what will be the output. So where is the output? So you can see I'm getting as a 120. It is returning me in the double. So you can see factorial of 5 it is going to take as an input, and as I said, it is going to take it as a 5 factorial, 5 into 4 factorial. Then these things will go on. So let me, I am going to add one particular comment line once again. So let me see how the program is going to run. So it will be going to run in this fashion. So you can see it is going to run the program in this fashion. Sorry. You can see it is going to run in this fashion. Whenever I say factorial of 5, it will be like 5 into n minus 1. But it is going to take factorial of 0 is 1, factorial of n into n minus 1, that goes on. Whenever I say factorial of 5, it will be like 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, it will be 120. So like this the things will be go on. So I have shown you the iteration over here. So how it is going to work for the factorial of the number, any given number. Even you can pass as a 5, even if you want to pass 10, 15, 30, whichever the number you like, you can just pass and you can just check it out with that. Okay, so the output will be the same. So in this video we have completed the what is recursion. Then we saw what is method overloading in Java. So we have seen a number of concepts from the beginning. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel. So for here I can say the Java basics is completed. So from the next video I am going to add the object oriented programming. So as you know, so we are in the notes. So in the next video we are going with the concepts of OOPS, so which is the main concepts in Java. So the basics of Java is completed. So let's move on to the next part in next video. So till then, take care guys, bye bye, and I'll see you next time.